I'm Chasity Nicole, and this is my short story, A Ghostly Haunting, featured in Sins of the Past, Chapter 1. My life is far from ordinary, but who would expect a person that sees ghosts to have a normal life? I spend my days talking to people that do not physically exist. Well, they did at one time, but now they are dead. Usually these people have some form of unfinished business, they're too scared to move on, or they simply don't want to move on. Those who don't want to move on spend their entire afterlife haunting the living. They claim it is the only thing that makes them feel whole again, whatever that's supposed to mean. I was able to see the dead at a very young age, and it freaked my family out. Ever since I first realized that I could speak with the deceased, I have had a strong bond with both the spirit realm and the world we live in. I was the only one that understood my ability to see ghosts and communicate with them. Everyone else pinned me off as nuts, until they needed my help because they were being haunted. Everyone calls a psychic chick when they need help, but aside from that, I'm just your average 17-year-old nutcase that lives down the street. I had received a call from my aunt that she thought her home was being haunted and decided to go take a look. Today was the day that I was headed to Harrisburg, North Carolina to stay with my aunt and uncle to see what was really going on in their home. As I pulled into the driveway, I had a very eerie feeling that caused me to pause. For a moment, creeping closer to the house, I noticed its old Victorian structure. It's one of those old houses that you just know is haunted or has a very spooky past. From school, I knew that it was common for these Victorian homes to be built upon land that used to be slave plantations back before the Civil War. Not only did the house scream that it was built to cover up a slave plantation, but the land did also. Average acreage for a slave plantation was about 1,000 acres, and this neighborhood was about that, if not more. And each home was the same old Victorian structured homes, all adding up to the conclusion that this definitely was a slave plantation at one point in time, and one with a very disturbing past at that. I stopped my car short of the garage and noticed a strange figure in the attic above the garage. Someone was definitely haunting this house. "Mom, Harper is here," my cousin cried from the front door of the bluish-white home. "Oh, dear heavens, child, stop that awful shouting. You'll wake up your brother. It's hard enough for me to get him to sleep in this haunted place. Now, what'd you say?" my aunt yelled from inside the house. "Said Harper is here." My cousin shouted again as I ran up the stairs to make the yelling stop. I had only been here a few seconds, and already they were giving me a headache. I'm Chasity Nicole, and you just heard a brief reading of A Ghostly Haunting featured in Sins of the Past.